Morning guys and girls, it's pastrami time. I've seen this on telly, Katz's Deli in New York. I ain't gonna get there in a long time and I'm craving a pastrami sandwich. So I've just took it out our brined pastrami. We'll get our Kamado grill lit. I've got the Baltic charcoal briquettes in there, a couple of tumbleweed firelighters. We'll let that get up to temp. While that gets up to temp, why don't you see how I brine this chuck? Hello future Les, how are you doing? Let's get on with the spice mix. I'm gonna get a pan warming up. And it's nice and straightforward to follow. This is our spice mix, our pickling spice. Tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of coriander seed, 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns, and 1 tablespoon of mustard seed. We're just going to get them into the pan and we're going to just give them a quick roasty toasty. Keep them moving around just so that they don't burn on one side. While they're toasting, into our kilner jar we can add 1 tablespoon of whole cloves, 1 tablespoon of chilli flakes, 1 tablespoon of ground ginger, give them a quick, I'm going to keep moving, 1 tablespoon of allspice berries, and there's a couple of escapees. Going to take 1 cinnamon stick. They're starting to pop, it's like popping candy. I'm just going to break up cinnamon stick into the spice. Turn them off, get them off the heat. I'm going to drop them into our pestle and mortar. Smell nice and fragrant. I'm going to take a couple of bay leaves. Just take 3 of them. I'm going to break them bay leaves up into there. And then just to release some of the flavours and break them oils out of the toasted seeds, I'm just going to give them a quick bash. Oh, they smell amazing. I'll just put my hand over because I've got some escapees again. Add them into the spice mix. Pickling spice. Done. Ready for pastrami. Right, it's time for the brine. I'm going to take 1 litre of water. I have pre-boiled that water just to make things a bit easier. And we're going to get that on the stove, and to that we're going to add 1 cup of raw cane sugar, 1 cup of sea salt, and we're going to just give it a quick stir to let that all dissolve. To that we're going to add 1/4 cup of honey. And as that's dissolving, 3 cloves of garlic and 1 sliced onion. This is a sweet onion going in. Tidy it up. To that we're going to add our pickling spice, and for this I'm going to use about 1/3 cup. So I'll just fill me nice pickling spice. It's 1/3 cup of our pickling spice. I shall make some more and add to that later. Once all them sugars and salts have dissolved, we shall add them to the cold water. Smells absolutely fantastic. To that we've got 2 litres of cold water in our container here, and we're going to add that to warm liquid. This is going to cool that down. Make sure we get all that lovely pickling spice in. We'll let that completely cool before adding the meat. So leave it till it cools. You could add it. Finally get to put it all together. Future self, I hope you enjoy this. Right, we had a cook yesterday where I got a nice piece of chuck. I know you make pastrami with brisket flat, but when I cook this chuck up, it cooked just as well as a brisket flat. So we're going to use our chuck. It's 1.7 kilo piece of chuck. And then we're going to take our pickling spice and get all the wonderful ingredients over the top. I want to make sure that this is fully submerged in the brine, and it's going to sit in here for a week. Let's get this all the way to the top. Make sure I capture them bits of garlic. Right to the top. Now your meat's going to want to float, so I'm going to take one of my glass jars, get it in. This is where I make a mess. That's going to weight it and press it down, and then that lid on the top should click in. That's completely submerged the meat now. Over to you, future big lads. The chuck's been brining for 5 days now, and I've been turning it each day as the week's gone on. So hello future self, it's almost time to eat that pastrami. Let's open her up. All them spices. It smells absolutely fantastic. I could just eat it now, but I can't because it's raw. I'm going to take that chuck, and so it's been in that brine now for 5 days. We'll take all the spices off. Just get all the... And what we're going to do, we're just going to give it a rinse in some fresh water just to get that saltiness off the outside. Oh, got too much water in there. Obviously, if you was in your kitchen, you could rinse this off under a tap. Get that transferred now onto a rack. I've set a cooling rack up into a oven pan, and we're going to let that air dry now overnight, and we shall be cooking tomorrow. Give it a quick pat off. I'll stick it in the bottom of the fridge. We'll let that air dry, and it's going to pick up all the smoke. If you put it into the smoker wet, it's just not going to work. So, see you soon, a future self. I hope you enjoy, because I'm not going to get to taste it. Right, the charcoals are starting to come to an ember, so we'll take a piece of our beech smoking wood and we'll place that down on top of that fire, and just to the side of that we're going to take our grill grate with its heat deflector plate in place. We will pop in our grill extender. Almost forgot. I like to use a grill extender just for that low and slow. It's been a great little barbecue. We'll pop the lid down. We'll open that vent up. We'll leave the bottom vent wide open at the minute and the top vent wide open while that gets up to temp. We'll start to bring it up to about 140 degrees Celsius, which is around 285 degrees Fahrenheit if I'm doing the maths right. Once it gets to that, we'll shut the bottom vent down to about 1/4 inch open, and we'll shut the daisy wheel down at the top, and we'll leave the top vent about half cracked open, and that should stabilise that temp for us. So now you've seen how we've brined our chuck. It's time to add. Oh, the dog's found a squirrel. Sorry about that. While we get back to the filming, dog, you're in trouble. Right, he's put me off. We'll take our chuck that's been air drying in the fridge overnight. We'll place it on the board, and we need to make a spice rub to go with that. So, pastrami flavours, traditional pastrami flavours, you've got to have that coriander and black pepper. So, let's make our rub. We're going to take a tablespoon of coriander seeds, I'll open it this way, a tablespoon of mustard seeds, and a tablespoon of black peppercorns. Notice there's no salt going into here, because there's plenty of salt that went into that brine, that went into that pastrami. Pestle and mortar, and we're going to make a right mess. We're going to coarsely grind down and crack open them seeds. You know, if you're ever frustrated with anybody, pestle and mortar, it's great to make you feel better. Right, that's nicely coarsely ground down now, and not too many escapees on the board today. If you grind it yourself, you can work on that consistency, or the thickness of it. Just to bring up them barbecue flavours, we're going to add into that a tablespoon of smoked paprika, a tablespoon of onion, oh that's garlic, sorry, and now the onion. I could have just kept quiet, but I'll do it while I'm, oh, a bit more than a tablespoon. Right, we'll mix all them flavours together, and that's our nice pastrami rub. Right, usual, you all know my favourite binder is this French's yellow mustard. I just seem to love using it as the binder. I think it works really well. Clean hand, dirty hand. Make sure we get that in, and then let's get that nice pastrami crust on the outside. You've no idea how long I've been wanting to do this. I really hope it's worth the wait. Flip. More mustard. And repeat. Okay, we don't rub the rubbed onto the meat. We nicely sprinkle, and if anything, just give them a little pat just to help it adhere. And I think I may have judged the amount of rub just right. Just beautiful. Right, we'll let that grill get up to temp. We'll let the chuck hang out on the board. I think I'm going to smoke it that way around and give it that looks pretty aside. And then we'll pop it in the grill when it's up to temp. Right, Kamado grill's up to temp. See the smoke's nicely rolling. The pastrami is ready to take a bath in that smoke. So, as I said, I put my grill extender in and heat deflector plate. We'll take our pastrami and we'll pop that up on that top grate. Now we're going to shut that lid down. We're going to let it roll in that smoke at least 4 hours at 140 degrees Celsius, 285 degrees Fahrenheit for the next 4 hours. We'll check the temp on it at that point, and then we'll probably wrap it in tin foil. If you're enjoying the video, guys, there's a little subscribe button just down there. Click that, it's really appreciated. It helps support the channel, makes it grow, and we can feed Buster a little bit more. See you in 4 hours. Right, we got to the 4 hour mark. It looked pretty tasty, so I've left it in just an extra half an hour. I didn't need to wrap it. I've actually brought it up to temperature naked. It is looking pretty beautiful. It's got a wonderful bark on it. Oh, it's really soft. Took them internal temps up to 94 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around the 200 degrees, 94 degrees Celsius, which is around 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I really need to sort out my temperatures. You can see there's next to no resistance. It's got beautiful juices oozing out. We shall give that a nice wrap now. It's absolutely beautiful, it smells fantastic. But we shall give it a wrap. Oh, we have a escapee. Don't worry, we're prepared. Our tinfoil just isn't as good as that American stuff that you see when, I think you could build battleships out of the stuff that you see in America or on them videos. Ours, you only have to sneeze and it pops a hole in it. Right, now we've got that out, we're going to pop it in our cooler and we're going to sit it in there and we're going to let that rest for around an hour, if I can wait that long, because I really want to eat it. I'll see you when I get to slicing. Me and the dog can't wait any longer. Can you bust? So let's get to unwrapping our meat parcel. Ooh. There's juices trapped in the bottom. We don't want any tinfoil in our meat. Here, wow, wow, wow. Oh, it's fallen. That's how tender it is. Ah. We have that wonderful pastrami, and I believe the fibres are running that way. So we shall go in for a slice. Oh my, if I can. Oh. No, that piece is going to come off. Put that to the side. Oh, yes, that's the grain coming on. You can see them juices running all the way through. Nice pastrami. Ooh. I don't think I'm going to slice it all the way through this because it's so hot. I'll tell you what, we shall have a look at the fibres while you're in, see how tender it is. Ow, that's really tender. I'll have a little taste test and then we'll get to making a sandwich. That's good. That's really good. Let's get to making a Katz's pastrami sandwich. So, traditional Katz is in rye bread. So I've been and bought me some rye bread. Take that piece off because I want a nice big slice sandwich. And we're going to take our sliced bread and then we're going to stack on the pastrami. Whenever I see Katz's Deli sandwiches, they're never tight with the meat. They like to stack it high. So we're going to stack this bad boy super high. Oops, escapee. I want another slice because I'm feeling like it today. Do you think that's high enough? I can't help myself, it's nice. And pop on the top. check out that sandwich. I've been waiting a long time for a Katz's pastrami deli sandwich. Right, I'm gonna have to hunch again. That, I think that was a mouthful. That is so satisfying. It's moist, it's tender, a little bit of spice to it, not too much. Just with that rye bread, it's beautiful. If you've enjoyed the video, you know the drill by now. Hit that like button, turn on them notifications, it'll tell you when the videos are coming out. Hit that subscribe button and look out for the future videos. All I've got left now is chief tester time. Buster with the biggest drool he's ever seen coming out of his mouth. Whoa! See you soon, guys.